Good afternoon. This is Peter Slipchenko. I'm a student at Aspen University. This is teacher Beth.
Hello.
She's English grammar. She is a English grammar teacher at a private Thai school in Thailand.
I'm teacher Beth. I'm teaching secondary students, M1 to grade 7 to 9, and then I've been teaching here in this school for 13 years.
Okay, welcome, Beth. Thank you. Could you talk about or discuss the discrimination or biases you see in the Thailand labor market, such as for finding jobs for people with different educational achievement, different income and gender, and talk about it. Also talk about, do you think that education could solve the problems of having different educational backgrounds, different incomes, and different gender? Do you think you could solve it with education? What do you think, Beth?
Well, with your first question, which is there any biases about the education here in Thailand? Well, actually, with the people with the students who finish in the government school, they say that they have more opportunity to get a job, easily to get a job. That is why my students in secondary, as they finish grade 9, they have to transfer in the government school, so that it's easy for them to enter in the university, which is a government school. And then after that, as they finish in the most famous government school here in university, they can easily find a job. And then for the inequality of the gender, well, for me, it is easy for the female to find a job rather than the male. Do you know why? Because, for example, if you are a teacher, if you are a man, it's not easy for you to enter a school, to get a job in the school. For example, most especially if you're going to be a teacher in kindergarten, most of the school they prefer female. Why? Because of course they were going to be a motherhood rather than choosing the male teacher in kindergarten. So it's going to be easy for the female. Like me, when I was here, when the first time I came here, only for a week and I got a job. But for the male, it's going to be easy. It takes time. It takes time for them to find a job.
Okay, thank you, Beth. That's very interesting. And teacher Beth, about the relationship between family income, a student's cultural background, and educational achievement. Do you think there is some kind of a connection between a person's family income, his parents' family income, how well he achieves, and his cultural Is there some relationship between a student's family income, the student's cultural?
Yes, sometimes there is. Because, for example, for the poor family, sometimes there is.
You're saying for the poor family?
Yeah.
For the poor family?
For the poor family, sometimes there is discrimination that, okay, because these people, they have the opportunity to go to other good schools. But then for the poor people, only this. And then because of the money methods as well.
The money?
Yeah. Because if you don't have money, you don't have any choice. Only this, only this. And then for the to treat the students as well. I mean, for example, for the private schools, well, they have been treated. For the private schools, they have been treated special. I mean, special treatment.
Just wait. You said for the private schools, what?
The students have been treated special.
Especially?
Yeah. Special treatment. They've been given more special treatment rather than
you mean
students
like
in
better
schools.
Teaching, or just
preferential
treatment, like
yes.
more positive evaluations?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rather than the government schools. Well, I think in other countries or maybe in other schools, it happens as well.
What about the cultural background? What if
For the cultural background, well, for the cultural background, not really.
so in other I guess cultural background, if you're from a Thai background or if you're from a foreign background like Filipino
It's
or
gonna be
English,
easy.
do you think who has it easier in Thailand schools?
Of course, for the Thai schools, of course, they prefer the Thai people as
For
well.
Thai.
For example, I have a daughter, and then she's
And you're
good in
from
English.
where?
I'm from Philippines, and then because of course we know English already, so there is a competition which is only for Thai people. I mean, no one can join, which is
Nobody can join speech contests
yeah
that
no.
are for Thai
Well, I
people
think-
because they think the foreign students will have an
better,
advantage,
but
right?
gonna be better. Well, I think it is. Well, I think it's they want to be fair. They just want to be fair. That of course you are a foreign already, so you're gonna be good in English. So, and then what about the Thai people? They are just starting. They're just starting to study English. But I think in the other hand, sometimes I think that I think it's gonna be a good opportunity for them, right? For the Thai people, and then for the other foreign cultures.
Sometimes what? Can you repeat
Sometimes it's a very good opportunity to
Yes.
see that, okay, Thai people are growing, Thai students are really growing. Why? Because even they compete with the foreign students, they can do it. But the Thai school, the Thai district, they don't think of that.
that? Okay.
They're thinking that it's unfair.
Okay, good. Let's go to the next question. Do you think that education is the best way of creating a stable and fair, equitable society? Is education the best way of creating a stable and fair society? And can the Thai education system help to create a stable and fair society?
Because
Yes or
yes, I
yes.
do believe. You know why? Because if you have a higher education degree, of course you're gonna be treated special, and then you're gonna be the society that you're gonna be moving on is gonna be wider than the others.
So you get
น้องเบลป .1 ทับ4ผู้ปกครองมารับแล้วค่ะน้องเบลป .1 ทับ4ผู้ปกครองมารับแล้วค่ะ
so higher education means you'll get ahead further
Go higher.
in society.
Yes, and then
But
great
what about
opportunity in life.
what about creating a fair society? So just because you get ahead, how does that make it fair? Or does it make it fair?
น้องนันเทพป .3 ทับ1ผู้ปกครองมารับแล้วค่ะน้องนันเทพป .3 ทับ1
It's not because you have the higher education, you're not being fair with the other people, because the other people is aiming for that as well.
Right.
Not only me, but of course the other people.
So
are
everybody's
aiming, yeah.
trying their hardest, so it's fair.
Yes.
So it's just competition.
Yeah. But it's
Uh,
not because that you're not gonna be greedy or.
So some people can be greedy,
Yeah. Just
but there's nothing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Here is a question about analyzing the issue of equality and educational opportunity. So, have you seen any evidence of
น้องตุลป .1 ทับ3ผู้ปกครองมารับแล้วค่ะน้องตุลป .1 ทับ3ผู้ปกครองมารับแล้วค่ะ
just a loudspeaker here? Have you seen any examples or evidence of inequality in education? Inequality of education, like discrimination or something that you've seen in your 13 years of teaching?
The discrimination here, the inequality of education. What do you mean?
Inequality where somebody is not treated fairly compared to somebody else. It could be a male student not treated fairly as a female not as a male. Could be as different races, different national backgrounds. Are they all treated fairly? People with disabilities, are they treated fairly?
Well, for the gender, there is
น้
no
องปัน
problem
ปัน
in
ป .1
terms
ทับ
of
4ผู้ปก
education.
ครองมารับแล้วค่ะ
But then the
น้อง
problem
ปัน
is
ปันป .1 ทับ4ผู้ปกครองมารับแล้วค่ะ
So you said are you saying there's no problem with the gender?
no problem with gender, but the status of life. For example, as I told you, if you are from the poor family,
Or families?
yeah, from the poor family, sometimes even the teacher, even the school, even the site, they treat them very low
Really?
rather than
They have poor expectations of the students if they're poor. Why? Why is that?
Oh, I don't know, but
They think they're not smart, or they just don't like people.
maybe because, for example, sometimes because the other people, the poor people, they are very, very being humble. If there is a problem, they will just let it. But if you're gonna have a problem with the students with a very high status in life,
High status.
it's gonna be very dangerous because of the because sometimes we're being because sometimes in the other schools they are being child center.
They'll be what?
They are being child center, which is not a child center but the parent center. They have to listen. They have to listen to the parents. What do the parents want? What do the parents
So the parents, the rich parents will always
complain
more. The
Rather
poor
than-
parents will not complain. They'll just
because they
accept,
were going to
right?
say that they have no
น้อง
power.
ต่างๆป
That is
.6 ทับ
why I
2
told you
น้อง
the
วั
rich
สุ
people
ป
they are
3
more
ทับ
power.
3ให้มารอผู้ปก
Maybe
ครอง
they
ที่
don't
หน้า
want
โรง
it,
เรียนในเวลา
but
นี้เลยครับน้องต่างๆป .6 ทับ 2 น้องวัสุป 3 ทับ 3 ให้มารอผู้ปกครองที่หน้าโรงเรียนในเวลานี้เลยครับ
You said maybe they don't want what?
Maybe they don't want to become like that, but then it really happens.
Maybe the rich parents don't want to complain? Well, I don't understand.
No, I mean they don't want to be on the top. It doesn't. They don't want to be called that they are more powerful rather than the
They
poor
just
people.
are.
Yes.
That's just society.
Yes.
Okay, if you said question 6, can you identify or give examples of inequalities between certain schools and a school district areas, such as are certain schools in a large school area better than other schools in the same area? Do you think there could be one area like the city here where we are, and there could be many schools, and some
น้อง
schools
จันเจ้าป .4 ทับ 1 ผู้ปกครองมารับแล้วค่ะน้องจัน
There is
เจ้า
an
ป
equality with the
.4
schools,
ผู้ปกครองมารับแล้ว
because
ค่ะ
for example, for the
so
province,
some schools could be different.
yeah,
So how could they be different, and why?
it depends on this. It depends urban and rural.
Urban, rural.
Yes, for example, you are from the province. They have English, but you see, as they come here in the city, you would see that there is a difference. Why? And then I gotta ask the student, oh, how come that you are like in my student? She is from She is from English program.
EP means English
Yeah, from
program,
the English program. But
and then that's a higher, more advanced program.
yes, of course. But then, if you talk to her, she couldn't easily understand. She couldn't. Why? I asked her that, oh, you are from EP, right? Yes, teacher, but EP in the province is cool.
So EP in the province is not as high
It is
as
not
EP
really
in the
high
city.
level. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't expect more. Why? Because maybe because they are only in the province.
And the
Not
provinces
too
don't have as many native English teachers,
yeah,
right?
not too many native teachers. What else?
And not as much technology.
Facilities, technologies, because it's only in the province. But if you are in the city, you have been given more opportunities.
There are more opportunities, more native teachers, and more possible technology that they use, right? So EP English program in the provinces is of lower quality, and the students will have the lower quality than the English program students in the city.
And then one more thing, maybe because the government focus more on that, because if you are it is in fact it is the main, it is the center. So they focus more in the rather than in the province. They left behind.
So you're saying the government focuses on the city rather
น้อง
than
เอ็กซ์ป
They left behind. Because as I told you, I asked them, I was very amazed. I said, what? Yes, teacher, but I'm just from
น้อง
the
เอ๋ย
province.
ป .1
And then you know how many students feel? They feel very down. Even they are, because they are just from the province.
Okay. One more question. Can you talk about the pros and
น้องพล
cons?
อยน้องหลานป .1 ให้มาขึ้นรถโรงเรียนในเวลานี้เลยค่ะ
Can you talk about the advantages and disadvantages of full inclusion in the classroom? And as I mentioned before to you in private, full inclusion is where you have students with disabilities, all the students with disabilities, any disability can be in the same classroom integrated with normal non-disabled students. Do you think that's a good idea, a bad idea, and why do you think it's good or bad? You said you had some experience teaching good and bad students, or normal and disabled students in the same classroom, right?
Yeah.
And what do you think is good or bad?
Well, there are good things, there are bad things as well. The good things is at least those good students, at least they could help. At least they could help there.
Yes.
They could improve as well. They could improve their personality. Even their personality, they could improve. Why? For example, if they will be in charge of taking care of the special one, their personality, they're gonna be more calm. Why? Because they're taking care of it. So they must be, their understanding would be wider.
Wider understanding.
Yes, but the disadvantages is those special kids, they shouldn't be in the same room with the normal kids. Why? Because they have special needs. They have special needs, which is the other normal kids, they don't really understand.
Do you think the teachers in the classroom have this training to teach the special needs?
Well, not really, because
Not
even
really.
me, I don't have it. I have to train myself.
So you have to train. Doesn't the school want to give you training? They say, okay,
No.
Teacher Beth, go for a training workshop for 1 week in the city and come back and you can teach everybody.
No,
No?
you know why? Because I think the school do believe that if you are a teacher, you should be flexible.
So the teacher just has to be flexible.
Yeah.
They don't have to have special training.
And
That's
one
it.
one more thing, as you teach, you grow.
As a teacher, you grow. I agree.
I mean, you learn things.
Yeah.
You learn as you think. You learn by doing it.
Yes, that's
And
right.
because as I told you, well, you could just experience it, and then next time you know already what to do.
Do you think some parents complain? They said, I don't want my normal students in a classroom with some weirdos who have something mentally wrong with their heads. I mean, that's a very negative way of saying, but I think some students' parents would
น้อง
say
ที่
that,
สามป .4 ให้มาหน้าโรงเรียนในเวลานี้เลยค่ะน้องที่สามป .4 ให้มาหน้าโรงเรียนในเวลานี้เลยค่ะ
So do you think some parents make such a bad kind of complaint?
Yes.
They think sometimes they do?
Yes, they complain.
But not too much, right?
Yes, there is a complaint. Do you know why? Because they were gonna say that I put my child in here, I paid for this tuition fee, and then she will gonna be taking care of this special one, like that. See? And then
So she has to do work.
Yeah.
She doesn't think her children have to do work, right?
she said that my child responsibility is to study, to learn.
To study and learn, not to teach disabled.
Well, I mean,
But do you think most parents don't mind?
but some other parents, they are very understanding.
But do you think most parents agree that it's good to have disabled and non-disabled?
Yes.
They agree.
Yes, because as I told you, because they want their child to develop, to be more developed, to be developed. And then because as I told you, Thai people, they do believe in sharing.
Sharing.
They do believe in offering help.
That's part of their
That's why they're very
Buddhist
open.
culture.
Yeah,
Or
that's why they're very open.
okay, thank you very much, teacher. It's been very entertaining, even though there's been a lot of speaker announcements and drums here.
Yeah.
This is just a private school here
Because
in
they're practicing
Thailand.
for the sport.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
น้องโมเดลน้องไอดิวผู้ปกครองมารับค่ะน้องโมเดลน้องไอดิว